In these next few videos, I'm going to show you how I created this image. Hello, my name is Stewart and welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, then click the subscribe button so you don't miss any free content. Now, I've had an image in my mind for quite a while that I wanted to do, but I wanted to give something to you guys, just something a little bit more than what I would do normally. Normally I'd go onto the macro table over here, photograph it, show the editing, and that's it. But then I thought to myself, why don't I include everything from start, which is the concept, all the way over to getting it printed out? And that's what I'm going to do over the next 4 videos. I'm going to take a concept that I have in my head, draw it out in Photoshop, pre-visualizing it, taking it to the macro table, photographing it, getting it into Photoshop, editing it, and getting a print done of the said image. And the idea that I have is of a ladybird on a green vine. So it's going to be in 4 videos. There are going to be vlogs in between. I'm not too sure how many, but that is what they are. So do subscribe if you're going to be looking forward to this series of videos. The first video, which is this one, is all about the concept, the idea, working out the colours that you're going to need for background. So let's get into Photoshop. Let's get cracking. So I'm in Photoshop now, and what I've done is I created a canvas that is the same resolution as the camera I'm going to be shooting my photo with. So the idea I have in my head is of a vine of some sort that curls around with a ladybird on it. And what I'm going to do from there is I have no idea. I don't know what background colour I'm going to use. Now, in most of my images, I stick to the rule of thirds. And in this image, I want to try something different. I want to have a look at the golden spiral. So if you don't know what the golden spiral is, I would suggest that you Google it, because it does get quite in-depth. So basically what it is, it's a different type of rule of thirds, where you want to place your subject in a certain area of the frame. So let me show you the golden spiral. If we select the crop tool and then click in the frame, you see we have our rule of thirds, which is generally putting something of interest on one of these lines is aesthetically pleasing. What we can do is come onto this little grid icon, click it, and we have golden spiral. And this is our golden spiral. And again, we have this line that comes round, and placing objects of interest on that line is aesthetically pleasing. It's like a leading line. And because we're going to be using a vine, it comes in quite handy that we can try and get a vine that actually matches this shape. We come back to this icon, we can see here we have a shortcut for cycle orientation, Shift O. I'm going to press Shift O a couple of times. And because I read from left to right, this is the spiral that I want to use. So I want a vine that comes down, wraps around, and we'll try and get a ladybird on here somehow. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be able to get a vine that is perfectly like this. It's not going to be this shape, but it's only a guide, okay? The first thing I want to do is just going to cancel that. And I'm going to bring in a new layer. I'm going to pick up my brush. And I'm going to get a nice light green colour. And let's go with a size 60 brush. I'm also going to put the smoothing up because I'm dealing with a smooth line. We want the smoothing all the way up. And my idea is it's going to come in from the corner, down, and curl around. Like that. That's my vine. Don't take the mick. It doesn't have to be perfect. I know it looks like Microsoft Paint, which someone commented in one of my other videos. But when you come to concept art, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to put highlights and shadows in and all that. All you need to do is jot down the information you need to know so that you know what you're going to photograph and how you're going to photograph it. So I'm going to get rid of the background because we don't want that. I'm going to put a new layer on here, and we're going to select a red colour. Now this is going to be for my ladybird. And ideally, I want the ladybird to be sitting just there. We could have it here or here, but yeah, we'll see where it goes. Again, where the ladybird is all depends on what the ladybird's going to do. I mean, there's a good chance it might just fly off as soon as you put it on the vine, but we'll see. So the next part is the background. Now this is where I'm not too sure what I want to do. And this is where I want to give you a nice tip. Now I'm always using complementary colours and split complementary colours, okay? Now to find out what colours you want to use, you want to come to a website that I've discovered. This website is www.sessions.edu/colour calculator. So what we can do here is we can select our main colour, which our main colour is going to be the ladybird. So we're going to be like, it's going to be a reddy orangey colour. So we'll go for that colour. It tells us our colour here in a hex value. And what I can do is I can click on this button, which is complementary colours, and that gives us a light green, which is very similar to the colour we've used on our vine. If I come here, you can see there. So we've already got some complementary colours working. What we have to do is figure out what we want for the background. So I'm going to come over here to split complementary. That will give us two different colours. We have a blue and a green. So first of all, I'm going to grab the blue. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come down, I'm going to add a new gradient adjustment layer. I'm going to change it to radial. Click the default settings, and then in the colour box here, I'm going to paste that blue colour. And again at the end here. There's a reason I'm doing a radial one, and I'll come to that in a minute. I'm just going to copy that. And now I'm going to come back to this website. I'm going to grab the green colour hex value, copy that, bring it into Photoshop, and we're going to add it to our gradient, like that. Now, very important, these values are only suggested values. They're not magic numbers, okay? You can play around with them. What we want to do though is just get an idea of what we like. The blue looks nice, so does the green. So let's play with these values. Now we know that we're going to be adding some vignette into this. So what I want to do is have a darker colour on the outside. That is why we used a radial filter. I'll come to this one. And we're going to put in a darker colour there. Okay. So for me, on this particular concept art, I think the blue works nice. So with the green background, we seem to lose the vine a little bit. Now that's not going to work in the photography. Again, this is just concept, but we get to have a play around. So what I'm going to do is we have the two colours that are suggested. We can use both colours in our photo shoot if the ladybird permits us. However, if the ladybird doesn't play and is very difficult to work with, we need to choose a primary one. And I'm going to choose the blue one. I'm going to keep the green one deselected. This is our concept. What I like to do now is just to put on a few notes. So, first of all, I need to work out what lighting I'm going to use. And for this, I like to use a yellow. And what I'm thinking is, because the ladybird has a highly reflective shell, we don't want to use the trim macro because we're going to get two specular highlights on her shell, and that's not what we want. I'm going to go with a large softbox. So that's going to be the big studio light. That's going to come down from above, and with any luck, bounce off the desk and up and fill in the shadows underneath. I'm going to put another new layer on here now, and I'm just going to label these the vine and ladybird. That's my concept artwork done. That's what I'm going to try and aim towards. Now, as anyone who's done macro photography will know, that what end result comes out can actually be completely different to what you try to get, because again, you're playing with a lot of variable elements that cannot play in your favour all the time, like the ladybird, it might not play. Getting the right type of vine, getting the background correct. But this is just a guideline, and that is what's important. From this concept art, we figured out that we want to aim towards a blue background. We also have the option of a green background if the blue doesn't work out. So that's it for part 1 of this video series of the concept artwork. I hope you found something enjoyable from this video. I hope you've had a laugh out of my Microsoft Paint artwork. Okay, but like I said, it hasn't got to be that accurate. It just helps you figure out in your head what you want to do in your shirt. So when you've got that ladybird, we want it in the studio for the minimum amount of time possible. So in the next video, I'm going to be dealing with the photography side of it, setting up the macro studio, getting the ladybird and the vine all into the scene and taking a picture, and hopefully we'll get something similar to this. I want to thank you for watching this video. My name is Stewart Wood, and again, I'll see you on the next video.